For a midfielder, it was an 18-possession game.
Could you have picked another
Sorry,
grand final?
just for you. That one.
34 points the margin. Second term underway. Marriage, Seaby. Resume hostilities. Shaw nudged a little. No free. Another big pack around this. Umpire needs to sort it out.
They've beaten the Swans at their own game, Jason. Clearances, stoppages, pressure. It's all one way at the present time. The Swans are starting to fumble as a result.
Still goalless, the Swans. Hard to believe that their record here at the G in recent times horrendous. Martin dropped it as he was dropped. Soccer off the deck didn't work. Kennedy to O'Keefe. Wide ball. Parker knocked away by D. Fights on. Both of them fight on. Flicked out to the back. Bolton. O'Keefe. Experienced players need to play a hand now. Inside 50. Newman let it drop. Reed. It's been that kind of year for him. Little fumble. Parker tries to strip it. Crowd want a little bit more love from the umpires. They didn't get much, the Richmond fans, in the opening term. We'll get a ball up.
I guess we're just here sitting back and waiting for the response from the Swans, and they've been such an honest, reliable side over the last decade. You expect that by half-time they'll have eaten into some of this lead, but the Tigers got to say about that as well.
Everett snap out of the pack. Oh, good play by Rance. Almost took the mark there. They threw it over his head. Beautiful play. And it comes to Morris. Morris's chip kick is a beauty. I tell you what, for an inexperienced player, I know he's a mature age recruit, Morris. He runs to the right spots, and his disposal with poise has been fantastic.
There it is.
And that's not what a poised disposal is all about, as Hanbury makes the Tigers pay, and the turnover is complete, and the Swans are on the scoreboard. Beautiful play by Daniel Hanbury.
Well, we just got a shot of Damien Hardwick, and he wasn't too upset, because if you're going to play this style of football where you take risks, you use the footy, you chip it around, mistakes will eventually be made. Now, this is a very costly one, but it's a byproduct of the style of game they're playing.
That's true, Jason. It was a fantastic individual effort by Daniel Hanbury, though, to come through, kick it from outside 50. He went through halfway up the post, so it was a great conversion.
You're right, Jared. No ordinary goal, that. It's got some class. Finally, the Swans are on the board. Marriage, perfect palm down. Foley, to Newman. Pokes it wide, hoping for Miller. Got hands to it. Johnson got a fist to it at the same time. Miller half had him. Johnson half had him. Takes it to the line. Been a bit of a whipping boy in times, Brad Miller. Father played a few more games for the Swans. He would have been a father-son for the Swans. Just the 28 games, though, for Sydney. Not enough under the current criteria. Ball rolls through a couple. And umpires found a high. Richmond's ball. Foley.
I think more a whipping boy at the Demons than he was. He has been at Richmond, where he's consolidated this year his spot.
Rewild from 4 deep. Tried to crash that pack hard, and Richards content to see the line.
Can't remember the Swans breaking hard off the half-back line, Jason. The forward pressure has been superb.
Yeah.
Maybe their willingness just to take a risk at the present time has also impeded them.
Tuck tried to grab it out of the ruck. O'Keefe slams it on the boot. And that's the way they're getting it out, isn't it, Jared?
Yep.
Underlining your point. It's just kick and hope at the moment. Foley, Edwards, good play. Marriage gets a bad bounce. It clean bowls a lot of them. Seaby's in there. Nahas. Foley's been fantastic, and he's at the bottom of the pack again. We'll have a ball up on the 50.
He's up to 15 possessions already, Nathan Foley. Hasn't
That was
always
Tuck, in
used
fact,
it as
my
well as he
apologies.
can, but that's an extraordinary return early on in the game of football.
5 clearances for Foley. That was Tuck at the bottom of the pack. McVeigh ducked his head, got it out. Good play. Away they go through Jetta. Good contest, this one. Reed, Rance. Reed kept his feet, flicks it over the top. Hanbury, Jetta. Need to get some run. Kicks up the line, Tigers everywhere.
Oh, did that poorly.
Needed to call it in. Now's a chance for Jack. Could be a second punish here for the Tigers. Off hands McVeigh. They've got back in numbers though. Good play by the Tigers. Up the corridor they go. Big Marriage presents. Gets the handball working to Hooley. Gets it on to Morris. Next kick important. Morris looks up. No one running towards him, so he has to carry the ball. Now he goes long with a kick. Needed to get someone to turn around and run towards him. They were all streaming to the goal, boys. No one peeled off.
Been good Johnson so far to Matner, Shaw, McVeigh, McGlynn.
Got Reed.
And he goes for Seaby instead. Thumped away from him. Well done by Newman to get there in time. Jude Bolton floats one to the top of the square. Everett tried for the toe poke and he was beaten for it. Blake Grimes to Morris to Batchelor. Martin puts the afterburners on. Kick not so good. It bounces. It might be to their favour though. Straight past. No, Grundy dived on it but lost it. Grigg short. Perfect. Miller.
Well, Rich Grundy just had to keep his feet there. He bailed out going to ground, and in the finish, it has cost the Swans a shot at goal. Great work by Grimes at the other end of the ground. That was A-grade defensive work. Have another look at it. He's under pressure. Everett tried to sneak it around to Kennedy, but Grimes kept his feet that time. Made a good decision and got it clear.
And there's a hush around the MCG. Tiger fans know this is important for momentum. Strikes it well, Miller. Magnificent. And he pumps up the volume again.
Well, the hardest part from a Sydney perspective in terms of getting back into this match is you can't do it if you haven't got the footy. And at the moment, we've got 3 Sydney Swans players that have got 6 possessions to their name.
Yep.
There are 15 Richmond players that have 6 or more to their name. They're getting numbers around the contest, and we're seeing a few of the Swans players panicking. I mean, Heath Grundy, he was terrified. Have a look at the goal umpire getting under Ted Richards.
So Miller kicks the back-to-back goals for the Tigers, with one in between to Hanbury for Sydney. So the margin back to 34 points, as it was at quarter time. You mentioned Grimes, boys. Damien Hardwick was saying during the week that they were 4-5 last year and travelling okay until he tore the hamstring off the bone. He is a vital member of this Richmond side. And we just saw how important he is. McVeigh has it.
Be interesting to see if they can just control the footy for a minute, Swans.
They're just beating them at their own game here, winning too many one-on-ones at Richmond Football Club for John Longmire's liking, plus 21 contested possessions at the moment. And that is the hallmark of the Swans brand of football.
Bolton kicks it up the line. Forced to kick to a pack. No runners, Gerard Healy said, from the Sydney Swans so far. Bird is caught.
Gee, that was a good tackle. To not get in the back of your opponent running like that, Reece Conker did it particularly well.
White doing the ruck work this time. Marriage with him. Tuck the clearance. Nahas playing in front. Position A. Sends it wide to the runner, Grigg. Thought about it, but Jetta was on the move to try and shut him down.
Wrong player to play on in front of, isn't he?
He, as you said earlier, I think, Ed, had the most possessions in the game so far this year, and yet no one wants to pick him up. No one's paying him any respect right now, and yet he's a cornerstone of the way the Tigers are playing their footy.
Delidio took on Shaw to the pocket, and Johnson mops up another.
It's interesting, when they kick long, they are, it must be tactical, but they are kicking deep to the pocket all the time. That's where they figure, if we don't take a mark, we'll at least create a stoppage.
Newman, turnover. Foley from the paint, sets it up. Rewalt, fist from Richards, knocks it down. Bolton got there first. Was that a legal handball? Martin, Cochin, feeds it back over the top to Marich. The cold hero from 40 brings the house down.
Brilliant stuff, Tigers once again ripping it off the Swans with pressure in the forward 50. A couple of nice handballs round, and then the new boom recruit, Ivan, gets onto one. There it is. That should have been a throw and a free kick to the Swans right there. Jude Bolton just handballing that, well, just throwing that away. Once again, another replay of it. Good work from Martin. You've got really smart players all linking up. That's just a A-grade decision to get it outside of the pack, give it to Marich, who has an opportunity to kick a big one.
Every decision is the correct decision for the Tigers. Ivan Maric with the big mullet and the big play puts the Tigers 40 points in front. Up he goes, he gets the tap again. Foley crashes through, couldn't quite get it. Kennedy has been well held. Marriage slams it on the boot, sits awkwardly, back to Edwards. Here they go again, the Tigers. Out wide, lurking with intent. Hooley gets a little tap onto Jake King, parts the sea, goes long with a kick, up to the forward pocket it goes. It's Martin again. Martin's got it in the pocket. Wanted to play on.
It was a brilliant kick, Ed. I was watching Martin down the other end of the ground. He signalled to the pocket, he held his ground, he wanted it in that space. The question will be whether he used his hands once again to push him out of the way.
He used his hands, Jared, but I don't think they're on the back. I think they're on the side of the shoulder or the upper arm of Ted Richards.
Nevertheless, it was just a great bit of communication between midfield and forward.
To make the margin 46 points, Martin comes in, hits the post. Third poster for the Tigers tonight already.
Got to go man on man now, the Swans, Jason. They're just getting slaughtered by the run off the full-back line and the half-back line by the Tigers. And I think they've only got one option. They play well man on man, and they're basically, the game's gone on the scoreboard unless something happens.
Correct.
McVeigh down the line, Everett. Fist. Reset.
I reckon it's a long time since John Longmire would have felt this helpless.
Yeah.
Hit the post 3 times, boys, the Tigers.
Brandon Ellis, the sub for the Tigers, if you've joined us late. Trent Dennis-Lane, the sub for the Swans. McVeigh reaches in. Foley gets a ride. Hooley, long possession. Rewalt in a good spot here, can't get up. Richards got the fist. Johnson playing some sort of game.
Oh,
dangerous kick,
shit.
Perfect kick to Jetta.
That had to be so good.
It was his only option though, and he did pull the trigger.
It's a gutsy kick.
Malchevsky, who copped an earful from his coach at quarter time. Jetta over the top.
Still got loose players here, the Tigers. Even if the Swans get it in there, unless it's perfect, it's going to rebound.
Johnson to Smith. To half forward. Jude Bolton. Absolute gun professional of this Sydney Swans outfit. They have to start grinding some scores. Up it goes towards Seavey. Flies from behind. Off hands. The captain, McVeigh, needs a captain's goal. He won't get it because Foley was disciplined and got back. And that's the hallmark of the Tigers tonight so far. A word not really associated with them so much over recent times, and that is discipline.
He's everywhere, Nathan Foley. 17 possessions he's up to, but working deep in defence as well.
Hooley to himself, and now good opportunity for the get and go. Shut down though in the end, Rance.
Geez, Nahas has made the effort, he's worked, and he's been given the worst delivery imaginable.
That's where he lets himself down, Alex Rance. And that would upset Damien Hardwick because he was clear for an eternity of time. He was 10, 15 seconds on his own.
And the reason he had to kick it so pinpoint accurately was because he did delay his decision to release.
Marriage, good contest. Takes it to the line. Ball in. 49 plays 9. A 5-0 opening term for the Tigers. You joined us late. It's been a different Richmond to the one we've seen all year. It's been the Richmond we've hoped to see all year. Edwards couldn't make something of it. Jetta, afterburners on. Tucked into the pocket. 60 from goal. Plenty of carry on the kick. Touched on the line.
Gee, that would have been some goal.
He's a number 1 possession winner right now, Jetta, with 10 possessions. The next best is Johnson on the half-back line with 7, McVeigh was 7, and Kennedy was 6. They have shut down their midfield motor completely here, the Tigers.
And for the Tigers, Foley's had 17, Cochin 13, Martin 13, Hooley 13, Greek 12, Deledio 11, and Marriage and Morris 10 each. There you go, that's the tail of the tape as Matner turns it over, no 15. Cochin gets it in. Sweeping handball out to Jackson. Looks up the line. That's a good kick. Put it out in front of his teammate. Jake King breaks the tackle, gets through, caught, got the handball, got it in the back. Umpire said, dropping the ball.
Well, he had 4 or 5 goes, Johnson, at completing the tackle. He finally got it. He got rewarded. He's been under the pump, but he's been one of the Swans' best.
Johnson back to Shaw.
Clever.
Chips the kick out. Parker. Centre of the ground. Good kick. It stays in the air for a long time. Getting across was Nahas. Great pressure. O'Keefe under the hammer. Fantastic play by Cochin. He was in hard. Jack goes hard as well. Look at this. Great play, Conker. Tiger fans up on their toes. Look at this. Fantastic atmosphere here at the MCG. Cochin.
And the ball up in the middle. Tark fighting hard on hands and knees. Trying to shuffle it out. Jack likewise comes back to Jack. Caught by Cochin.
Canterbury's crook off the back of the pack there. Top one in the middle.
Watching a few of those loose ground balls, we're not seeing any players even thinking about sliding in, but there's a lot of them diving in head first.
Swans have lost 13 of their last 14 here at the G. Hasn't been a happy hunting ground for them. Matno, a little trip. 7 goals to 1 right now. Malcheski, spearing pass. Hoping for Kennedy and got him.
Well, that's an A-grade kick. And what's better than an A-grade mark, Jason?
A+.
It was a very tough mark, and he grabbed it under enormous pressure.
Second favourite for the Brownlow medal, Josh Kennedy.
And the Tigers are minding him like his second favourite for the Brownlow medal. He's had very little space to move, but that is an awesome grab.
To the Boos, kicking to the punt road end. From the 50, drives it long. That's top shelf.
Everything he does correctly, doesn't he, Josh Kennedy? He makes good decisions, he puts himself in good positions, and he's added an extra string to his bow. He's become a midfielder that can go forward, take the mark and kick the goal. That's a contested mark 1 against 2. And a critical finish. I mean, against the run of play. To say they needed it's a massive understatement. He's kicked that from the 50-metre arc.
Interesting to watch Mark Seaby with these centre bounces. He's got a really unusual approach. Not sure if he's ever going for the football.
All right, let's watch number 1 for the Swans. Go for the ball here against Marriage.
Well, against Miller, he should be able to dominate.
He does. Gets the tap. Going too tough for in the back. Quickly to Martin. Martin kicks to the forward 50. Oh, good mark. Jackson. Open forward line. Cochin. There's a beautiful kick, and look at that. Lace out to the full forward. Salivating up here is Jason Dunstall. Memories come flooding back. Can he kick this goal for his 3rd?
I like the decision of Daniel Jackson too. Give it to the good ball users and pass it off to Trent Cochin, who delivered the ball beautifully.
Well, if there was such a thing in AFL football, that was world class. And that is at the top end of skill exhibition.
Well thought out, well executed. Do they get the reward? Jack Revolt comes in and misses.
And I just want to talk about this forward setup of the Tigers today. No Vickery down there today, so they're using Delidio, Cochin and Martin at full forward. And I think that it's thrown the Swans' defence around a fair bit. They've used Ted Richards at full back on those smaller types, and they just look like they can't contain the marking power of the Tigers. They've taken 7 marks inside 50 already.
And the other thing it does, Kingy, I think it gives them better defensive protection when the ball does hit the deck.
Yeah, spot on.
Martin gets it out. Conker from 50. Gee, keeps that low and strong. And it's not touched, but it's a free to Richards. It won't count.
Premature celebration. Nice piece of work by Conker, nevertheless.
They're hanging on the Swans. It's a 34-point margin right now, which was the margin at quarter time. And we've played 19 minutes in this second term. And here it is again. Yeah, fair enough.
Just proof of the pudding. It doesn't matter what you use. If you push someone forward, it's a free kick.
Seaby up, front spot, can't mark. Cochin again. Short. King.
He should go back and have a shot unless he's got a clear target on. And look, he gets criticised at times for giving away free kicks, Jay King, but that last one, there's no doubt that Ted Richards would have touched the ball or marked the ball if he didn't somehow subtly work him underneath it.
Yeah, they've missed him, the Tigers. I reckon they would have got the 4 points down at Geelong had he been there.
Backs himself in. He fancies himself here, Jake King. It's across the face.
Oh, nearly a mark.
Still alive, though. Richards plays on with run. Madner.
Seavey going to the bench. He's going to end up the target.
Trying to bounce it to him. That's on the full. It'll be a free kick. Swans. Kennedy to take it on the wing.
So 34 points the difference, but the Swans just starting to hold up a bit now. The Tigers have mucked up a couple of opportunities. Slight change in momentum here.
It's the first time, Ed, we've seen really a succession of a chain of disposals by the Swans that hasn't been intercepted by Tigers.
Malcheski up high, Reid couldn't hold it. Jack front and square, bullocked his way through. Which way will it bounce? Awkwardly, but well played by Grimes to slap it through for a rush behind.
Sam Reid going for what I reckon had to be close to mark of the year. But just like he's going so far this season, just slightly off at the moment this time.
Yeah, hasn't had a kick yet, Sam Reid, just the forehand passes. Ben McGlynn, another one. Just the one kick, one disposal. Hasn't had any impact whatsoever as yet. Jesse White, just the 3.
It's like a 5-year deal, Bogey, for Reid. Hasn't done him any favours yet. Long kick, past Marriage, King. No prior there. He backed into the tackle, but he didn't really have an opportunity to get rid of it. And the umpire will pull it up.
Well, they've gone finally man on man, the Swans.
Marriage and White down to tuck. Johnson with a slap down to Bird. Outside of the boot. Kicks forward in hope. Bounced unkindly for Everett. Still gathers though. 55 out. Short. McGlynn got it.
That's a great decision by Andres Everett. There was a short bolt and he went over his head. He took the longer option, got it closer to goal. And just as you said, Ed, just a couple of signs that the Swans gaining a bit of momentum.
This is one of the men we were just talking about. He's only had the one kick for the day.
Hasn't been a great form. Hasn't kicked a goal in the last 2 games. Big moment for him and the Swans. And he still hasn't kicked a goal. On the line, touch through.
The lack of confidence in the kick way.
Yeah.
He just stabbed at it. Wasn't expecting to kick it.
3 rush behinds this quarter for the Swans. So they're getting it down, at least into their forward line. Could not buy a possession in the first term.
You've got Dennis Lane as substitute. He could play a similar role.
That's an interesting decision, but they get away with it. That was a 1-on-2, Brett Deledio.
A kick from Newman was an interesting choice, but they, as Jason said, might get out of jail. Deledio running in and out of trouble. Flicks it out wide. Turnover coming here, off hands. Swans starting to go now. Malcheski, handball's back. Marriage, though, gets it going again. Jackson. Out wide he goes. Batchelor. Foley's been fantastic. To Martin, the big names. Look at that for a kick. Right up to the square it goes. Jay King just touched off hands.
I think Jay King's just got to work out that he's not 6'3". Don't get yourself set in the goal square, because your man who's on you, Johnson, is always going to be able to come over the top.
You've got to love the way he believes in himself, though, Jared.
I do. It's underpinned his career, but still got to look in the mirror sometimes and say, no, I'm going to be at the foot of the pack.
Ball to Rance. Knocks it down beautifully. Grimes. Marriage. Used his body well. D. Pops it up. Nahas is going to have to go.
They should have marked it.
Went straight through his hands. O'Keefe
Off
short.
the bench.
Just off the bench, Edwards. Fist at his own possession. Over the head of Martin. Runs into Hanbury. Caught. Stripped of it. No free to Hanbury. Martin gets it again. Tied up. Ball up.
Gee, that was great from Martin there, Dwayne and boys. He just went 3 or 4 times just to give an effort there to make sure the Swans didn't get an easy exit. The handball to him wasn't perfect, but he's giving everything here for Richmond.
He's a great talent, we know, Kingy, and I think that this is the best way to use him. He hasn't got a big tank. Goal square, middle, goal square.
D. Morris. Edwards. At half-time, we'll show you Black Caviar, 21 straight. And the GWS celebration. What a day it's been for the expansion club in New South Wales. The other side from New South Wales, not so happy at the moment. Here's a chance for Robin Nahas around the outside of the boot. Sets it up. Was it a mark?
Oh,
yes. It's a Falcon, then a mark.
I want to have a look at this. I thought there were other hands on it.
Yeah, Mattner thought there was too.
There's definitely a Falcon in there, Ed. You're right there.
I think the crowd may have had an early look.
Off the outside of the right boot. Oh, that's gone off the right hand of Marty Mattner.
Yep.
Let's play on. But you get an opportunity here. Brad Miller, you must kick the goal.
So Miller for goal number 3. As the clock ticks down to 2 minutes from half-time.
Well, that's poor that there's 3-on-1 on the goal line. He hasn't made the distance from 40 metres, and Nahas is the only one.
Morris, good pressure. That's 2 Millers dropped short. He's kicked 2 and missed 2 opportunities. Mattner now gets the handball out. Great pressure. Parker turns it over. Jake King rushing through. Parker's been cleaned up. I hope he hasn't done his knee there, boys. I think he's in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
As Hanbury kicks the ball up the line, it's coming straight back. Minute 30 to go. Good bounce for the Sydney Swans. It comes out to Jude Bolton. Bolton finds some space. Out to Jetta. Jetta now at centre wing. Kicks it long, but there's no one home for the Swans. Or it is a great kick. It comes inside. Now is a chance for Jack, who kicks to the goal square.
That is a brilliant kick.
Great play by Everett.
2 of the best kicks you'll see in that passage of play. The Jetta kick, it looked like he had nowhere to kick the ball, but he saw the red numbers back in the middle of the ground, and he hooked it around the corner. He didn't have to hit a target. He had to get it in the vicinity of teammates, as we see Luke Parker up. He doesn't want to come off. And then the great weighted kick from Jack.
So Everett has kicked 20 goals, 19.
Oh, badness.
Misses from 15 metres out when they so badly needed a goal.
Let's have a look at the injury. Just gets driven into the ground. Not sure what the injury is, but he's up and about. He is. Look at the left knee.
The left knee.
That is a horrible miss from Ambrose Everett. One of the great kicks from Jack.
Bunching for the kick out. The ball bunched at centre forward. Now the spread.
To himself and into trouble. Out of trouble. Martin. Still dangerous. Hooley. And he was paid the mark. Just held it long enough.
He was lucky Cyril Rioli wasn't on the mark there.
They're taking risks, but it's paying off.
Fortune has favoured the Brave for the Tigers in this game. Hooley. Pumps it long and wide.
Numbers here, Sydney. They've got to take this one away.
Ball not clear. Parker couldn't pounce.
That's one of the few times that the Swans have been able to force Richmond to kick long down the line to a contest.
So 19 seconds on the clock. Still time for a score. Parker. Touch play on, said the umpire. It spills out the back now. A chance for the Sydney Swans. Great play coming out was Dees, who's had a great day so far. Kennedy over the top. 4 seconds. The kick from McLean. Will it be marked? No. Off hands. Countdown. The Swans are thwarted right on the goal line. And the Richmond Football Club, their supporters stand as one. They love what they're seeing here tonight. 7-9-51, Sydney 2-7-19. That's the score at half-time. The Tigers are up and going here at the MCG.
Well, they probably deserve to be a little bit further in front, the Tigers. They've done such outstanding work in the first half. They've maintained possession. They've had almost an extra 100 possessions in a half of footy. They've kicked the ball at 70%. It's worked very nicely for them, but they've got to do it for another half yet.
So goal kickers, Revolt 2, Miller 2, and singles to Martin, Marriage and Conker for the Swans. All coming in that quarter, just the 2 goals, Hanbury and Kennedy. It's 51 plays 19. Richmond in front at the MCG.